Welcome to Code Slice. Welcome, welcome. Yes, today we're going to be building a Google login with Python Tkinter. So in this beginner-friendly tutorial, we are going to add Google login to your Python Tkinter app. Yes, that's right. Users can log into your desktop app using their own Gmail accounts. Yes, so just to show you the final product of the code, how it's going to look like. Yes, so that's how it's going to look like. You're going to run the app, and then you're going to be able to create this login with Google button. And once you press it, as you can see, it opens your Google accounts, and then you can be able to log in with your account. It's going to verify the user for you. And yeah, as you can see, the authentication has been completed. And voila, welcome. Right, yes. So let us jump straight into it. So how will we do this? So firstly, I'll show you how to install the required libraries and set up the auth credentials in Google Cloud Console. And then also we'll build a simple but nice looking GUI using Tkinter. And finally, we'll integrate the login button, open the browser to secure sign in, and pull the user's info back into our app. By the end, you will have a working real-world login system in your desktop app, perfect for anything from saving user settings to personalizing content. So now let's jump right in. All right, with that said, now let us go and install our requirements. So for this, we will need our command prompt. Yeah, so we then use pip install Google Auth or Google Auth OAuthlib class or request. We run that. It will do all the installing for you. So of course, on my side, I've already installed everything. So that's why it's taking very quick. All right, so now we've got all our installations in order. So now let's go on now and move on to the next part. Yes, so now we'll start setting up our Google Auth in Google Cloud Console. So this will be very important in order for us to be able to log in with Google, being able to access our credentials through Google. So how do you do this? So we'll open our browser. Yes. And then after that, you can just simply type in console.cloud.google.com. You go there. All right. Yes. So for me, of course, I have created the projects already, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Yes. So if you don't see a project here, it's fine. You can just simply create a new project for yourself. But for me, as you can see, there's various projects that I've been working on. But for you, you can just simply create a new project. Yeah, there's this new project button. Once you press there, then you have this pop-up here where you can name your project. In this case, maybe we can name it something like Tkinter Google Login or whatever you want to name it. So for me, maybe let's just say tester 2 for now. Yeah. Then we create. Okay, as you can see now, the project is created. It's test 2. And then to go to that project, you can press over here. We go to tester 2. Yes, so we are now in tester 2, as you can see in the top panel here. So now we move on to the navigation menu, and you go here where it says APIs and services, and then you press credentials. Okay. All right, so now we are by our credentials, and then you will now create credentials, and then you'll create an auth client ID. That is what we want, auth client ID. Okay, give it some time. Okay, so usually you'll come across the screen where it says to create an auth client ID, you must first configure your consent screen. Yeah, so it's quite straightforward to do this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. So you can just go here where it says configure consent screen. Get started. All right, so here you'll then provide the app information or the app name. For now, let's just call it login. And then the email here, you can put your email. For myself, this is Code Slice. All right, then we go next. Then for audience, in this case, yeah, it's for internal only available to users within your organization, or external, meaning whoever basically can test. Let's just say external for now. Move on. Contact information, you just once again put on your email. Okay, then you move on. Then you agree, continue, create. Okay, all right, so then you come across this screen where now you can say create auth client. So application type here, please choose web application. You can also give it a client web a name here. It's up to you, but maybe we can just simply call it Tkinter client, right? Or anything you want, really. Okay, and then also very important here where it says authorized redirects never mind. Yes, so yeah, we update this as well. So this is for use with requests from a web browser. So what we want to do is we want to go into our Tkinter app, but we want to log in through the browser. So we have to add here, and what you can simply add here, you can just add http localhost 8080. Yeah, just keep it like this, localhost 8080, and then you add that. Oh, sorry, you create. So everything is added. So now you can just simply create. So it says it will take 5 minutes or a few hours. Generally, it's very quick. Yeah, generally it's very quick. Yeah, as you can see, it's already created. So what does this do? This creates a JSON file that you can then use to be able to sort of check your authentication. You know, whenever you're trying to log in. So basically this JSON file, it really contains your secret information. It contains all your logging information. So it's best to conceal it and not to really show anyone. Yeah, so this is something that you're going to keep private for yourself. Yeah, it's not something that you're going to share with anyone. So please do go on and rename this JSON file into maybe just client secret.json. Just keep it simple, client secret.json. You can just rename it, and you can save it where you basically now have your main.py file. Yeah, so that's how you go about setting up your Google Auth in Google Cloud Console. Okay, yes, so we have our client secret JSON file right here. So once again, this contains sensitive information, so you don't give it to anyone. Yeah, so now let's get on now to the coding. So let's go on. So if you don't have, of course, main.py, you can just create your own one. Yeah, but in this case, it's just an empty file, right? Main.py. So now that is where we're gonna start working on our code. So the first thing is, let's import all the necessary modules that we'll need for this app. And we're using Tkinter, so import Tkinter as TK. Also, from Tkinter, import message box. So this is for showing pop-up messages. And remember the requirements that we installed in the very beginning. So we need to also import those as well. So it's Google Google-auth OAuthlib flow. We'll import install app flow. Yeah. So what does this do? This is for handling the Google login. Okay. Yes. So let's also import requests. And this is to make HTTP requests so that we can get the user information. All right, so now let us go on and create the main window for the app. So root let's just call it Google login demo. Root geometry 350 by 180 is fine. Root configure background. All right, just to explain what we're doing here. So we are creating basically now our main window. So we firstly set up the window title here, right? Yeah, and then the geometry, which is the window size, and then we set up a background color as well. Yes, and then finally we root main. Okay, let's run that. Check that everything is in order. Yeah, everything is in order, as you can see. Amazing. We have now created our main window. Okay, all right, so now let us add a few things. Let's add a label, and also let's add a button as well. So firstly, let's create a label that acts as the title of the app. So label text can just be login to Google. Let's set up some fonts. Let's give it a font size. Let's give it a font size. Then let's also make it bold. Yeah, so Helvetica is the font style I'm going to use. 16 bold. And then let's also set up a background color. Let's also have a foreground color as well. Okay, now we have our label. Okay, yeah, so what are we doing here? Yeah, so we have our label, right, which we have added it to our root, which is basically our window, right? Yeah, the text, of course, the fonts and whatnot. I think everything else is quite straightforward. Let's just check that. I think everything should be. Oh yes. Oops, I closed the wrong thing. Let's just reopen it. Yeah. So let's just put. Yeah, let's just fix that. Okay. Yeah. Should be fine now. Oh, the color. The color. Let's just fix the color. Yeah, should be fine now. Yeah, there we go. Log in to Google. All right, log into Google. So now let us now go on and put in the button. Yes. So login button. So TK button. So we are adding it to our root. The text. Let's just say login. Oh, let's not forget the comma there. Text command. So the command here, this is basically us calling the function, but we haven't defined the function yet. So let's just leave it empty. The font. This time around, let's just use Arial 14. Okay, and yeah, let's have also some colors for background. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, we have our color there. Then let's also have our foreground color. Yeah, you know what? Let's just make it white. Yeah. Let's just say white. And then FedEx 10 PD PedY 5. Okay, yeah, so we have now our button here, and finally let us log in, begin packing it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we have our login to Google. We also have our button. Of course, nothing happens to our button because we need to create the function. So let us go on and create the function where when we log in, we basically open our browser to then confirm, or to rather authenticate ourselves. Okay, so let's go on and work on our function. Let's call it login with Google. So now what we'll do is we'll just define the permissions so you'll need to just define the permissions for your app. So this will allow your app to access the basic profile. For example, things like the name or the email. Yeah, using your JSON file. So how do you go about doing that? So scopes. Open ID. HTTPS www.googleapis.com user info email. So basically here, this is the kind of information that you're going to be getting when the user logs in. We're going to be getting their email. Yes. So let's make sure that this is okay. So the https www.googleapis.com auth user info email. Yeah, let's remove the comma there. Okay, let's just copy this and do the same for password. For not password, but the profile. Okay, and then you can say profile. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have the we have the basic profile, email, and name. So now we can move on to load our auth 2 client information from the JSON file that we downloaded. So to do this, we can just say flow install app flow from client secrets file. And then what you're gonna do is now you're gonna put here the name of the file that we saved, right? So we called it client secret JSON client secret JSON. Yeah, we put it there. scopes. Okay, yeah, there we go. Everything is fine. Let's close it. And now we'll start now the login process. Threads flow run local server port 880 font consent. Okay, so once the user logs in successfully, we will get like a special access token, and what we'll do after that is that we also want to now ensure we get the profile info to pop up on our message box, which we'll create. So to do that, let's have the headers. Authorization. Credits token. Response request. And then let's just copy this part of the URL. So https www.googleaps.com auth 2 user info headers. Let's make this slightly a bit bigger. Okay, yeah, so headers, authorization, and then the response that we get. Okay, please make sure that the URL here is okay. Google API s.com auth 2 v1 user info. Okay, and then when we get a response, the user info is returned as a JSON dictionary. Okay, user info response JSON. Okay. Finally, the name user info. Unknown. Let's also do the same for the email. So basically here we are getting the information from the response. And lastly, let us then have a widget. So this widget will show a pop-up message welcoming the user by name and showing their email. So message box Okay, yeah, so let's work on our message box. So we want to show info. This is for when the person is successfully logged in. So we can say log in successful. Welcome. Show their name. Your email is email. Okay. So that's if they're successful. Okay, I also see there's an error here, so please do fix it. So response requests, there should be an S there. Requests, yeah, with an S. Yeah. Okay, and then let's also have an exception. Except exception as E. And this can be in case we get any error, like for example, maybe you try to log in but you don't know your credentials. Then you can have this pop up message box show error. Login failed string. Okay, so now we have our function. We have our function now. So now to call this function, we can just copy it. To call this function, we want to call it from the button. We want to call from the button. So where it says command, we can now put the function there. The command, we are calling that function. So let's go on and run this. Okay, let's press login. Amazing. So it's opening our browser. And because I did authenticate already, as you can see, authentication flow is completed. You may close the window. I already did it. Yes, and there you go. Welcome. CodeSlice Kiwi, your email is. Yeah, so there we go. That's how you do it. Yes, so yeah, so thank you for joining CodeSlice. Please do subscribe and let me know in the comment section what can be improved within these tutorials. And that's it from me. Thank you.